Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. Oh my God!
Yes.
Shit. Hold on. Yeah. Get some horns, you get some hand claps. And listen. All right. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
Okay. We've been going for a minute, but we're back.
Oh, 1 minute.
It's a little minute, a little minute. We had some technical things. We had some, So, but 200 episodes, and we here. So, before we even continue, you had a little spill or speech. The floor is yours, Scotty. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make. You got the floor is yours.
I had a speech. Oh no, man. I just like to thank all the supporters and everybody that has ever listened to any of our episodes, and just tremendous amount of support over the past 7 years. So we appreciate you all, and the journey is still going, man. Still going.
All right, so I just second that. But before we even continue, it's only right that I wish my mom a happy birthday. Today's my mom's birthday. So
happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday to my mom. I think that deserves some horns. Now we've been going for a few weeks, and I think it's time that we talk some sports. The playoffs are going on. So we missed a lot. So the playoffs are going on right now. The NBA playoffs, they're in the second round. Mayweather just had a fight with Paul Logan or Logan Paul, whatever his name is. He got 2 first names. So
let's start there, because we're going to get into basketball.
Absolutely.
What was your real opinion of that fight? Like, do you think that it should continue to go on, or you think Mayweather should just be done with the exhibitions?
The thing about that is, so my opinion of that particular fight is I could have done without it, but I watched it for free and felt like I was owed money, and it could have been. I don't know really what I was looking for, but I think going in, I already knew it felt like a publicity stunt. And ultimately that's what it was. And so I'm not mad at Mayweather. And do I think Mayweather should stop? Probably not. Because the thing is, Mayweather hasn't had a real fight against a real boxer in about 4 or 5 years? So it's been about 4 or 5 years. And so, I mean, shoot. He's still the top dog.
So here's my thoughts. I can't blame either one of them. I mean, I hear Logan Paul made it was $20 million off that fight, so I can't be mad at him. Somebody I saw a comment, and they asked us to bring it up and talk about it, so we're going to talk about it. They said that they feel like boxing has been dying a slow death over the past, I guess, really decade, and now it is kind of venturing into this gimmicky type of showmanship. We saw it with the Tyson or Holyfield thing, and I mean, right. that was a decent performance. Roy Jones. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep thinking Holyfield. I guess Holyfield is supposed to be next.
Want to fight him.
Yeah, Holyfield is supposed to be next. But we saw it with that, and it was decent, and we thought, okay, maybe something should be there. I felt like during this fight that Mayweather carried him the whole fight just to put on the show. Like he could have ended it much earlier than he did, but just I don't know, because it was a money grab. It was just better to just let it go the distance, let it go 8 rounds, let people think that this guy really had a shot, and it just came off as cheesy in there.
Right. And it's funny. It's funny that behind you have Muhammad Ali, because one of the things that Mayweather said in his press conference after was that Muhammad Ali did exhibitions and for different people after he had retired, and no one really cared. I can't say if someone cared or not because I wasn't there. I wasn't even born, and so I can believe that, and I can see that, and I can see where he's coming from. I think the difference is that when Muhammad Ali was retired from boxing, he wasn't the top dog. Like once he was done, you still had the George Foremans and all those, the Sugar Ray Robinsons, all those guys were still around, and Ali still wasn't the top dog at that time. Right now, Mayweather is still the biggest draw in boxing. He's the biggest. So it's like, man, it's just, I don't know. And it's just a different day and age. So it's tough, man. It's tough.
So on one end, I respect it because it's like, why not get the money while it's there? So I respect him getting the money. On the other end, I just say, Muhammad Ali, I feel like maybe he might have had to do that for the money. He didn't bring in the amount of money that Mayweather brought in. And, somebody brought up that, Mayweather didn't really start making money until a little bit later in his career. But by God, did he make a lot of money? I mean, he made up for it. Yeah, he made a ton of money.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think that the exhibitions are going to stop. I think that he's still going to do these exhibitions. Who would he fight next? I don't know, but it's almost seemed, and that's excuse me, that same person who was saying something about boxing. It's like you got Tyson and Roy Jones, but then you got these undercards with Nate Robinson, Chad Ochocinco, and these former athletes in different sports look terrible. Now I'll say this: Ochocinco looked better than Nate Robinson, but he still took a slug. It wasn't as bad as Nate Robinson, but I mean.
So let me ask you this: what could possibly bring boxing back? What is boxing missing?
A solid heavyweight division. Okay. A solid heavyweight division, and guys that can, I don't want to say steal the spotlight or steal the show, but have that charisma that, what's his name? That Mayweather's former understudy. You talking about Broner? Broner. So Broner had, at the time, he had the potential, but I think Broner's problem was he was trying to be too much like Mayweather and not enough of being like Broner. And so it just came off as a JV version of Mayweather. Then he started losing, and it's like, you can't have this big talk and then now you're losing. You know what I'm saying? So, he had the potential. And he's a good boxer. I do think he's a good boxer, but he was doing too much, as you would say. He was doing too much.
So I look at MMA, right? So a lot of people talk about how that's basically replaced boxing. But one argument that I have with MMA is I feel like it's too many fights. And it's like you don't really know, like you see the free ones, then you got like the pay-per-views. They're always advertising the pay-per-views, and you don't really know which ones to draw into. I think with boxing, when we'll say in the last 10 years, or even prior to the 10 years, you still had a good solid 8 boxers that pretty much everybody in their household knew, right? You know what I mean? Right. Now you got the boxing experts that tell you like, no, this guy is good, this guy is good, and that guy. But for the most part, you had 8 people that people were like, you know what, I'll pay $50 or I'll go to this fight party or I'll do that. So it's interesting that with the money that you can make in boxing opposed to the money that you can make in MMA, you don't have more people from MMA just saying, you know what, I'm going to focus on the boxing because I can make more money doing that.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point. You know, you look at McGregor. I mean, he made more money that Mayweather fight than he probably made in any of it. Well, it is. It's not. You know,
it is. Yeah, he had all his fights. Yeah,
he made an MMA, and it's like, man, you would think that, like you said, they would focus more on the boxing, but I guess that's their craft. And do I think that MMA is going anywhere? I don't think so. I mean, they're at UFC. They almost at UFC 300. So I don't think UFC or MMA or whatever is going anywhere. Now the thing is, like you said,
definitely not.
Yeah, they have a ton of fights, and you know, I think boxing should do something like they were doing it last year with the fights on ESPN, and there were some good fights, but unfortunately, people like violence, right? And they like to see a knockout. So everybody's not going to want to see a 12-round matchup, a 12-round boxing match. That's not going to – people's attention spans don't work that way anymore, you know? So to have continuous 12-round matchups or 12-round bouts is going to be tough, especially if it almost looks like they're sparring, because we've seen those as well. So boxing, they just, I mean, I don't want to say that they need to rebrand, because, you know, there are some up and coming boxers that you know are good and exciting, but it's just they gotta put them in front of the viewers, and until they do that, then you're gonna have to be stuck with exhibitions.
Yeah, but one good thing that the UFC does do is they don't allow you to just duck, right? They match up their matches pretty well, and if you start to lose, they get you up out of there. Like there is no okay, you just go get on the sled. Like, yo, you lose 2 in a row. It's like, yeah, maybe you need to rethink being in the UFC. So, but it's going to be interesting to see what the future holds. Basketball. Do the playoffs look really different without Steph Curry and LeBron?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not mad. It's really, I guess, refreshing to see that if LeBron and Steph were to step away, you still have enough stars to where for the next 10 or 15 years, we still would be entertained. But it has a different feel. It has a different feel without LeBron and stuff in it. I personally think this is the year that we will have a surprise champion. I don't know if it'll be the Nets. I don't know if it'll be the Suns. I don't know if it'll be the Clippers. Could be Utah. It definitely probably would not be the Bucks the way that they're playing.
So
go ahead.
No, do you think, like, if the Nets win the championship, is that really a surprise? I don't think that's much of a surprise. I think that'll be a new team winning. But, I mean, the guys that they added, I don't know if that's really a surprise. Now, if you have the Jazz, Nuggets, even the Bucks, Philly, I think those will be surprise champions. I think that the favorites right now, or coming into the season, you had, you know, the Lakers, Clippers, Nets, and probably the Bucks. I think the Bucks were up there. Can that series change around? Yeah, it can. We just don't know. I mean, the Nets did what they were supposed to do. I mean, they won the first 2 home games. I mean, that last game, they were up by 49 at one point, and that's hard to do. It's hard. It's hard to be down by 40 in the NBA, especially in the playoffs, because everybody's playing harder. And if I tell you what, if they lose by an astronomical score in Game 3, it's going to be a sweep. I know people were saying that they may win one game, but it'll be a sweep because they'll be so demoralized that it's and this is done without Harden. So, but as far as the playoffs looking different, I like it. Yesterday we had Philly and Atlanta, and you had Utah and the Clippers. And listen, whenever the Clippers lose, I am in heaven, because I just, it is what it is. But I think that these playoffs, the first ones out of the bubble, we started to get fans back. I think Philly had a sellout last night. It's good. It's actually good for basketball. I think it's good for basketball.
So let me ask you this, right? So you got Utah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were first. They were first in the NBA. They had the best record. Are they legit, or do you feel like they don't really stand a chance? You think they're legit?
They're definitely legit. I mean, because you look at Spider, Donovan Mitchell. You look at him, and then you say, let's just say, take away the injuries, right? And we know that what's his name is going to be back. But you look at Conley, yeah. If you look at the pieces around them, you got the former defensive player of the year, you got Ingles, you got they got shooters all over the place, right? They're legit. And not to mention they have that home court advantage. That is just different. That Denver and Utah home court advantage is just different. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Utah can beat any of these teams in the playoffs. Any of them. Now, will they? We'll see.
I will say their makeover of the uniforms and their stadium has just given them a different feel. And I might be off on this comparison, but watching the game yesterday, Donovan Mitchell looked a lot like a young Dwayne Wade. The way that he was attacking it. He's got all the. I mean, their games aren't really comparable, but the way that he was just.
Yes, they are. He plays exactly like Wade with a better shot.
He's got a better shot, and I don't know. It just when I was watching him, it just reminded me of Dwayne Wade, and I don't know if it was because he was sitting in the stands cheering for him or whatnot, but the way that he goes about his business, it reminds me of Flash, man. It reminds me a lot of Flash. So the Phoenix Suns and Denver Nuggets. So the Joker, MVP. I feel like it was well deserved. Embiid had a really, really, really good year, but I feel like the missed games might have caught up with Embiid. Statistically, the Joker had a phenomenal season, but I think the eye test, most people said, okay, Embiid should be the MVP, but at the end of the day, he missed a lot of games. But back to the point, Phoenix, are they legit?
I mean, right now they look legit. Yes, I think that the pieces that they added in Crowder and CP3 are so underrated. I think Crowder especially, because Crowder, for whatever reason, gives them that toughness, that you know how it was when I used to say, these fake tough guys, like I used to call Matt Barnes a fake tough guy, or Tristan Thomas a fake tough guy. But
Becky
Crowder,
with the good hair.
hey,
Becky
I'm
with the
saying
good hair.
I'm not in that. I'm staying out of that.
Hey, yo, we got to talk about that, man. We'll get back to the playoffs. Kwame Brown. We were missing when he went through all this.
We were going. We were going.
We were going.
So all right. So I think Kwame Brown is his own segment, and we can go there. So real quick to answer your question, I do think Phoenix is a legit team, and they have the makings to get to the conference finals. I don't think that they're going to beat Denver. I think Denver's going to eventually win that series. But Kwame Brown, I'm sure none of y'all missed it. I'm sure all of y'all that's watching right now saw Kwame Brown do Kwame Brown things. Well, I guess now it's considered Kwame Brown things. And I mean, he has something to say for Gilbert Arenas, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Charlamagne the God, Jamel Hill. Am I forgetting the media? He's Stephen A. Smith.
I think he got the whole Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I think the whole. Yeah, I mean, so man, I think that my biggest question is, what took you so long? You know, it took Gilbert Arenas, Matt Barnes, and Steven Jackson to say something, but from the time he was drafted to the time that he retired, he was you kind of could say he was a laughingstock. Yeah, he played, double-digit years in the league and he made X amount of dollars, but considering who the people that he's up against, he was kind of a laughingstock slash I don't want to say bum, because I feel like if you play double-digit years in the NBA, you know what? I'll call him a journeyman. Is that better?
I think at 6'10", it's very difficult not to play double-digit years. I'm just being honest. Your first round draft pick, first overall pick.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're 6'10". Yeah, the frame or the body type that he had, you're always going to need a backup big man. You're always going to need depth at big man. So I didn't get too much into that. What I did agree with him is I don't feel like Washington necessarily did everything they could to help him succeed. I don't think that he was ever a feature of that offense. And I don't think that they ever said, okay, we drafted Kwame Brown overall, number 1 overall. We're going to surround him with pieces. We're going to run the offense through him. We're going to try to do whatever we need to do. Now, I guess devil's advocate to that is they must have realized early, like, there's no way possible that we could ever win any games doing that. And it would be a waste to go out and surround anybody with him. So they might have realized that really early, but he does have a point that he wasn't set up for success.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, and for him to be the biggest bust, I mean, we got Anthony Bennett out there.
Yeah, I don't think he's
yeah.
I mean, because Olu Candy wasn't.
Over Candy.
I mean, he lasted longer than Olu Candy, so I mean, Olu Candy wasn't
Over Candy.
My bad. I mean, so was he the biggest? I don't think he was the biggest bust. I don't think he was the biggest bust. The biggest bust in draft history. There's been bigger busts in the NBA. But I tend to agree with what he was saying. I think that they were kind of like he was getting picked on for years. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like he should have stood up for himself, longer. But word on the street, and I think this where Charlemagne came into, was he ain't the one that you really want to mess with. Like he got shooters in his family, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I can believe it. I mean, it is what it is. You don't seem impressed, but I mean, hey, look.
I mean, I don't want any smoke, and I don't know his background. Maybe he's new to social media. I don't know. Maybe he was new, and he just, I don't know. Maybe he just got an Instagram account, or maybe he just got a Facebook account. Maybe that's what
you want that smoke, Scott. It sounds like you want that. Do you want that smoke?
No, I don't want that smoke. No, man, I'm being fair, man. He might have been new to social media. That might have been the first time he's really heard that stuff. Maybe people were scared to really say that to his face, and maybe they never had those conversations in person. And then he started logging on to social media, or however he got involved, or he got connected with the world, and he started hearing the stuff. And he's like, I mean, because here's the deal, right? And the way that he made it sound, and I've always been a huge Gilbert Arenas fan, but let's take basketball away from it, right? Let's say I know you're a cornball in real life, and I hear you say something about me, but I really know your background. It's going to infuriate you a little bit more. You know what I mean? Same with like Steven Jackson. If he felt like, okay, this guy is a loser, but he's on TV, and I know this guy personally, but he's nothing that he says he is, it's going to infuriate you more. So maybe that's what sent him off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't think he's new to social media. I think that I just think that interview really, really set him off, and he just felt like, hey man, y'all ain't gonna keep on talking about me. And I think he felt more disrespected because they were fellow NBA players. And then, media is the media. They're gonna do whatever it is that they do. But when, like he said, somebody that's in the same fraternity as you, and they just trashing them. I think he was disappointed, hurt, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, that's understandable. He's been quiet the last few weeks, the last couple of weeks. We haven't heard too much from Kwame Brown. But one thing I didn't like was Stephen A. Smith, his response. I didn't like that because he was trying, he was like, oh, you gonna show all of his mess ups. And he created a montage of his screw ups. But the way it came off, it was just like, I don't know. It was kind of whack to me. I ain't really like that joint, but I mean,
see, I kind of liked it. What I did like is at least he said something. At least he came back and something. I mean, so it's one thing to call somebody a bust, right? Mm-hmm. And it's one thing to evaluate somebody's overall career. He's correct in the sense that neither one of us have shot a ball in the NBA, right? So, yeah, everybody has played in the NBA. Most people have played Division I college ball and some sort, like you're even college ball. You're not a bum compared to the rest of society. But what he started doing was making it personal and attacking Stephen A. and some of the other people's personalities, their traits, their characteristics. And although it was funny as hell, once you start doing that, we've got an open invitation to go back and forth. Because I'm critiquing something that you've made millions of dollars. You set your family up. It ultimately was your job. And ultimately, yeah, he had reasons to why he didn't live up to expectations. But the bottom line is he didn't live up to expectations. And for, like you said, for the past 20 years, he has been the butt of every joke. But when you start saying, you know what, you're tricking on girls, or you're extra corny, or you used to get smacked, and my people had to bail you out, or, you know, Stephen A., you're a fake Q, or you know, you didn't play anywhere. You start going real life stuff. Then yeah, you deserve that response, and you deserve all that energy you're getting back.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm with you. I just, you know,
don't want that energy.
So granted, I see what Stephen A. was. I mean, he came back at him. Maybe I need to see it again, man. Maybe I need to see it again. And but I don't know. He said he had like 15 minutes of screw ups. I'm like, golly. You know, but I mean, it is what it is.
I think we can agree to one thing, right? Well, two things. I don't want to see Kwame Brown on the basketball court. So, you know, I'm not going to beat him in a one-on-one game. And I don't think anybody really legitimately wants any smoke with him. I don't, at least. I don't want any smoke. No smoke.
Well, the Big Three is coming back. So Kwame Brown plays in the Big Three, and a lot of his former peers play in the Big Three as well. So it should be. This is good for the Big Three. This is good for the Big Three because, yeah, I mean, so
what is he averaging in the Big Three?
3? No, I don't know. I don't know, man.
He should be able to put up some numbers in the Big Three, right?
You said what?
He should be able to put up some numbers in the Big Three.
He should. But he's been in the Big Three since the beginning, hasn't he? You watch the Big Three more than me. So
I do, and his games have been very unmemorable. I mean, I know he's there.
Hey, man. All right, so look. We about to get into the winner of the week, right? But before we get to the winner of the week, we do have our first paid sponsorship ad for the 200 show. All right, Scott, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm like, oh, shoot, somebody paid us.
Okay. All right. So as COVID cases begin to dwindle down, all right, tighten up, Ant. As COVID cases begin to dwindle down, and as the country begins to open up, 65% of Americans have gained on average 20 pounds of unhealthy weight. Being that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, Brendan's Virgin Kosher Cow Milk is here to help you with your weight loss journey. These virgin cows are raised on our family-owned farm in Rancho Cucamonga, where we raise the purest virgin heifers in the world. Our premium virgin kosher cow milk provides a much healthier alternative than 2% milk for all your favorite breakfast meals, including cereal, oatmeal, cream of wheat, and pancakes. So you know the kids will love it. All of our cows are milked by hand, guaranteeing our products are virgin kosher, top to bottom, and that's no bull. Listeners of this fabulous podcast will receive a 10% discount by using the code VIRGIN2. That's Virgin, VIRGIN, and the number 2. Visit the website www.bvkm.org. I repeat, www.bvkm.org, and use the code VIRGIN2 to take advantage of this offer. For the generous price of $29.99, you and your family will receive 4 bottles of Brendan's Virgin Kosher Cow Milk at your doorstep. Again, Brendan's Scott Virgin Kosher Cow Milk will satisfy your family needs. And remember, use the code, people. Let's get to the winner.
Yeah, I gotta take a pass on the virgin milk.
No, you're a winner. No,
Yeah.
you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right, man. You said the virgin milk was made by hand? Come on, man.
Hey, yo,
Come on, man. What hands was it made with?
go ahead, yeah.
Yo, we might have to give them their money back, yo. Yo, give them their money back. Yo, we can't market virgin milk on here, man. This is a family. Yeah, this is a family show. There's no telling what type of protein is in that milk when you get it. Hell yeah.
Oh my God, Scott. Yo, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, my winner of the week is the NFL. And the reason why my winner of the week is the NFL is because they've been giving black people the shaft in their concussion settlements. One thing that they've been doing is they've been saying that black people have a lower cognitive ability, thus making it harder for black former players to get like a payout. And when I read this, I was just a little disturbed because, the NFL is saying that they're doing everything to reward everybody that, not reward, but compensate everybody that suffers from CTE, and to find out that they're making it tough for a lot of our former black players to collect on some of the money is just ridiculous. The NFL has it right now. They've got a budget, I want to say, of $858 million that's been allocated to that. But we all know that the NFL has made billions on top of billions on top of billions since, it's been introduced into just the United States sports. So for them to only cover about 40% of the players that have actually applied for this funding from CTE is just terrible, man. I feel like the players that played before all the concussion stuff and all that, if they've got legitimate claims, they shouldn't be having to go through submit all this paperwork and get denied and, make it harder for certain races to go through this. I thought it was unacceptable, and part of the reason why I wanted to talk about it is just to bring awareness to what they're doing. Man, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. When I was looking at this story, it was strange, man, because it seems like if it's not one thing, is another when it comes to sports. I'm just go sports in general and the NFL and black folks. I mean, if you look at most sports, black folks make up a majority. And the most popular sports: soccer, football, baseball, basketball. You have a good number of black players and former players, especially in football and basketball. I mean, I think 70% of the NFL is African American, probably higher in the NBA. So I think that to I guess what they call it, race norming, or whatever it is unfortunate, man. It's like the NFL already has a ton of bad press, and to like deny claims when you clearly have footage of these guys playing football, especially the older guys that's from like the 70s and 80s, whose equipment was not up to par like it is like now, right? And so those guys shouldn't have not a worry in the world, and it's gonna take, I guess, the NFL to get some more bad press because they're denying claims of black players that could easily be approved and proven that they've played in they suffered from concussions and things of that nature. To be naive to think that they haven't, especially back in the day when it was just, I mean, they probably had one shell and a skinny piece of padding in their helmets. So I don't know, man. It's just crazy. I feel that something needs to be done. It's going to take more lawsuits. I think Najee Davenport, and I think one of the former Titans players, they had lawsuits against the NFL, and I mean, it's like these settlements, like, I don't know. So we have a question: is it a one-time payment or is it multiple payments? And you don't know. I think if it's the NFL, it's going to be multiple payments. I would think that instead of one lump sum. But you never know. I mean, we're not privy to that information. And I'm interested to see what about that. How long is it taking them to get these people to the results of their claim? I mean, the results of their claims, whether they're approved or denied. If they're approved, how long is it taking them to get the money? A lot of these things, man. And again, this is an unfortunate situation because the NFL was working their way back into the good graces of Black America. And now this is, I mean, they've taken a few steps back.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate part is it's not about just proving that you played. It's the hoops that they got to go through with the doctor's appointment, saying, the doctor's got to write it up a certain way. And to your point, it should just be kind of understood, like, okay, you played, you've got symptoms. Let's go ahead and give you the cash settlement because, like you said, we never did our due diligence in the first place in the beginning. This is our fault that you're suffering this. Thank you for what you've done to the game. Here's your cash settlement. But what they're doing is they're making you go through all these examinations, go through this, and they're fine-tooth combing the examinations and saying, well, you're not eligible, or, yeah, okay, he didn't really pass this test, but part of it is because he's Black, he's not as cognitive as some of his white counterparts, so this is why he scored lower on it. So we've got to grade it on the curve, so we shouldn't have to give them that much money. And it's this fortunate situation. I'm glad that it was brought to light because, normally when somebody brings something to light, that's when you start to see that accountability part of it, right? That's when people decide, like, okay, maybe we need to get our act together, or maybe we need to look at our process and figure out how we can streamline this and make it a little bit better for people to get their compensation.
Yeah, and I think that they have to do something, right? They can't just go and just try and sweep it under the rug because this is gonna gain steam. And one thing that they don't want is to have the bad press with these. They already had this bad press with this concussion, with this a whole concussion situation. So it kind of went away, but now denying the claims and things. Let me ask you this, Scott. You're a vet. Does this feel similar to the Army and getting disability with the Army?
Yeah, it does feel similar. And so this has just been my experience with Veteran Affairs. I think for the most part, it's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better. It's gotten more swifter. I think the one thing about veterans is most of America appreciates veterans, right? Mm-hmm. So once there was a lot of light on the system and the process, Congress, and I'll say this about President Trump, and a lot of people won't like this. He actually did help the VA. That's the one thing that I will credit him for is he did streamline it and make it better. So they're consistently working to streamline the veteran affairs process. The NFL, because there's no light on this and nobody is talking about it, and ultimately people's perception of older athletes is, okay, well, they made millions anyway, and that's the sacrifice that they put up. And people they're not as sympathetic, in my opinion, to the older athletes that paved the way for the game. So it doesn't get a lot of attention. The CTE over the last couple of years, it's picking up steam, but really CTE has been there for a while. A lot of the older players, if you start to go back and you start to look at the data, a lot of them were committing suicide, and now they're conducting studies on their brain, and they're starting to realize, well, this person was in stage 3 CTE, this person was in stage 4 CTE. They've been dead for a while, but had everybody focus their attention to that earlier, maybe we could have got some of these players the medical treatment that they needed, or we could have gave them these settlements to where they were able to get the health care that they needed later in their lives. I look at the situation that kind of brought light to it. The guy's daughter was saying that, they rejected it. Then it started picking up steam. So they gave her, a little bit of money, kind of hush money to say, okay, well, we gave you something, but it was nowhere near what he was entitled to. So definitely we'll keep our eye on it. We'll do more research on it and we'll talk about it more, but definitely the NFL, they've got to do better. And you can't tell me that they don't make enough money to where they couldn't cover these guys.
Right, I agree. So let's stay in the NFL. We have minicamp that started this week. Notable folks at minicamp. Notables missing, and I guess the one missing is Aaron Rodgers. My question to you: will he play this year as a Green Bay Packer?
Yes, they're going to do. Yeah, they're going to do whatever they need to do to get him back on board. They have to. They're not going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, and I think at the end of the day, even though he's got a grudge going, whether or not we agree with should he have that grudge or should he, I think. When it's all said and done, he'll be back.
So, I actually disagree. I don't think he'll be back. I think that Aaron Rodgers. I'm almost to the point where I think that Aaron Rodgers is even thinking about retire. He'll retire before he plays for them again. I think it's that bad. I think it's that bad that so you had Devontae Adams and he had his left tackle, say they had his back and that, whatever he does, they got his back. And I think that's good. I actually think that's good for Green Bay, but I think that Aaron Rodgers is so dug in that, and I know there's people that think he doesn't have the leverage, and he still has the leverage because he's made a ton of money in the NFL, and I think he's gone. I think he's gone, and I do think that he's going to go to Denver.
So a couple things, right? And we'll get to Deshaun Watson too. So this is why I want to call Aaron Rodgers out. I know he's not paying attention. He's not listening. He can care less what I think.
He might be.
We'll see. I think that he's not being as upfront as he should about this situation. I mean, he's saying that I don't feel like it's adding up, right? So they say that he's furious with the GM, right? And it looks like he's furious with the front office. But
Right.
he's yet to really give an explanation to why he wants to be out. It's kind of like he wants to tiptoe around it. Like he wants to throw it out there that he's not happy, but he doesn't really want to tell the full story on why he's not happy. Like, how did it get to that point? I mean, everything to this point is it's more speculation. Okay, they drafted Jordan Love. Okay, well, you say that wasn't that. They didn't get you any help. You know, you didn't really deny that. But what got you to the point to where you feel like this organization disrespected you that much that you're not going to play? That's what I would like to hear from Aaron Rodgers. Does he owe me that? No, but I think as a fan, I would like to see what got you to this point, man. What got you to the point to where you feel like Denver is a better option for you?
I mean, I probably can answer that. I think it's the disrespect. I think the disrespect is what did it. I think that he feels like it's you know how that saying is, you know, a bunch of little things create this one huge thing, and I think it is a bunch of little things. It's the all these years you don't draft me any offensive help in the first round. You don't draft me any of this help in the first round, and then the first time you do draft someone, offensive play in the first round, it's a quarterback. It may not personally be Jordan Love. Jordan Love is just he's just there. He doesn't have anything to do with this, right? But then you know, you don't discuss it with him. I think that he's earned the right to have that discussion with the front office of saying, hey, what do you think that you know, we're thinking about drafting, moving back up into the first round to draft a quarterback. You know, what do you think about that? We know he would have been like, no, why don't you get a lineman, a receiver, whatever, you know, to protect me and things of that nature. You know, then you have you know, the help is just it's a ton of things with the front office. I don't think it has anything to do with players. I think that Aaron Rodgers is good with the players. You know, and so, you know, with that, I feel he should be upset. And there's no reason. I don't think that there's a reason why should he come out and just out the front. I believe he did that, you know, but then they didn't want to give him a contract. They didn't want to renegotiate his contract. And it's like, so what are we doing here? You know, because that plays a part too, because if he wants a longer term deal, maybe another 3 years or 4 years or whatever, I think Aaron Rodgers has proven to us that he's worth that. You know, and then not to mention, you look down in Florida and Tampa Bay, and Tom Brady barely even moved his things into his house, and the Bucs were giving him every single thing that he needed and wanted. And look what happened. He won the Super Bowl. So when you look at that makes that that can be like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? Like, why are you not holding me down? And I've been here 15 some odd years, but this guy is coming from New England to this new organization that was okay, and they've given him everything. He wanted Antonio Brown, got him. Wanted Grunt, got him. Wanted not LeGarrette Blunt, but what's the other running back? He runs like LeGarrette Blunt. What's his name? Yeah, he wanted Fournette. He got him. You know, he wanted all these pieces, and he got him. He got him. So
yeah, but my retort to that, I can't let Aaron Rodgers off the hook that easily. He hasn't said anything. Closed mouths do not get. Hold on. Maybe he did say it behind closed doors, right? But in the public, he's tiptoeing. You know what I mean? Like, what is the issue? What makes it better, or why is it not at a point to where it returns? And maybe he doesn't owe me that explanation, but if he would have just said, like, came out and said, look, I want more money. I'm the best quarterback in the game. Get me more money, and I won't hold you for ransom and until you do. And not say it in those words, but if he says, "Hey, look, we need help. My front office isn't giving me help." You know what I mean? Everybody else, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, like all the other quarterbacks that aren't happy with their situation, we hold their feet to the fire to where, what's the reason? What do you want? What are you holding out for? We do it in basketball. You know what I mean? Like we made James Harden tell us. We made Dwight Howard tell us. We made LeBron do the decision. But it gets to Aaron Rodgers, and it's just kind of like you can come off with this half-butt excuse to where we the people, or it's built through the people, and this subliminal message, but you can't come out and say what it is you want or what's the real problem. Quit speaking in code and say it with your chest. That's all I'm asking. Say it with your chest. What do you want? Quit giving the fans half hope that you may be back. You're kind of out. We don't know what you're doing. Say it with your chest. Own it.
Well, to me, I think, you know, I've told the guys that I've coached this, I've told people this. I think words are just words. I think actions definitely speak louder than words. And I know that's cliche, but his actions are showing what he means. And he's said things in the media. He was annoyed that they did pick Love. You know what I'm saying? So and he stated that pick pissed him off ultimately. But I don't know. I'm not sure what else you want him to do. I mean, he stated why he was upset. He stated why he wasn't coming to mini camp. He stated that he does not like the general manager. So I mean,
he hasn't stated any of that stuff. It's all speculation, and maybe he's told the man next to the man, but he hasn't really came out and said this stuff. He's talking cold the entire time.
Scott, no. I mean, so let's not be naive now. Let's not be naive. You think if we're hearing it that it hasn't happened? You think that blow up that they just had a few weeks ago that was reported? And let's not be naive. If they're saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers had a blow up with the general manager and he said X, Y, and Z, then yeah, I believe that those things have happened. We've known and we've seen where in the press where a lot of these players will use the press for to get their words out just so they don't have to look crazy. Because if he comes out and says, and this is where the double-edged sword, if he comes out and says, no, I hate that. I hate the moves that they've made. They haven't done anything. You know what they're gonna say? You know what you're probably gonna say? Aaron Rodgers is being a brat. He's being a pest. He's being a spoiled brat, and he's mad because he can't get his way. And ultimately, he's mad because he can't get his way. But the way he's doing it is not coming off bratish. It's not coming off as a spoiled child. It's coming off as a disgruntled employee that has not had any help. You know, and let's be real. He has not had any help. His O-line has been struggling. His he has not thrown the ball to a first round receiver at all. And he's been in the league for 15 years, and he has not thrown a pass to a first round receiver. That is a problem.
So let me stop you there. I already think he's acting like a spoiled brat. Like he ain't no, yeah. I mean, he is. I do think he's a bit oversensitive in this subject. I'm just going to
sensitive. Scott, hold on, talking about Scott.
No, hold on. Let me finish. What is happening in Green Bay that's not happening to most quarterbacks around the league? You think a lot of quarterbacks get to weigh in on who the team's drafting?
Absolutely.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but somebody.
Not all of them.
Oh, not all of them, but somebody of Aaron Rodgers' caliber, Drew Brees, Tom Brady.
You think Tom Brady was making those decisions in New England? Or you think that Bill Belichick was making those decisions?
You think that they didn't? I'm not saying that he said pick this guy and they picked him, but you think that they didn't run? Oh,
look at all the talent that they got rid of in New England. You think all that had Tom Brady's blessing?
One, it all didn't. No, of course not. And that's why he's not there. And that's why he was ready to leave. When they drafted Garoppolo, he had a problem with that. We knew this already. They were like, wait a minute. And he ultimately got Garoppolo kicked out, shipped out. You're telling me they just traded Garoppolo just for kicks and giggles? No, they traded him because Tom Brady said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing this. And he won them how many Super Bowls since then? Like 3? Like, no, come on, man. So Tom Brady was upset. You telling me Tom Brady just left New England, a place where he won 6 Super Bowls, just because it was time for a change?
So that's not the argument. That's not the argument I'm making. You're changing the argument. The argument that's not the argument that I'm making. The franchise didn't feel they wanted to go in another direction. He felt like hold on. He felt like he could still play. And yeah, maybe he was a little mad with some of the moves and some of the teammates or whatnot. But the argument that I'm making is at the end of the day, Tom Brady, yeah, he might have had a little bit of influence there, but for the most part, Bill Belichick made decisions there. He didn't sign off on all those decisions. I can guarantee.
No, I'm not saying that. He doesn't have to sign off on it. Hold on. So you telling me? Hold on, hear me out. So you telling me before they went and got Randy Moss, they didn't talk to Tom Brady?
They talked to Tom Brady, but look where you're trying to compare it, right? You're trying to compare the greatest quarterback of all time. You're trying to take Tom Brady's situation, which I still feel like he wasn't involved in as many decisions as he would have liked to have been involved, to other quarterbacks throughout the league. Who else other than Tom Brady that you can name that's really making decisions and pulling strings like that? Because it's not Russell Wilson out in Seattle.
All right, so hear me out. Again, I'm not saying that these quarterbacks are the GM. No, I'm not saying that. But you could bet your bottom dollar that coach in Seattle, after Russell Wilson had his little fit, went to talk to Russell Wilson, and he made sure that Russell Wilson was all right. All that talk about those 4 teams that he wanted to go to, that was his agent saying whatever. Pete Carroll went and talked to Russell Wilson. He said it. He said, I had conversation with Russell Wilson. Hold on. So now, yes, the quarterback's not going to make every decision. Those important decisions, offensive decisions, they're talking to those quarterbacks because those quarterbacks have earned the right. They're
talking to him now after he had to come out and say, you know what, I'm tired of getting beat up. I want out of here. So hold on. And that's the point now I'm going to, right? So after he came out and said that, Pete Carroll and them, they smoothed it over. They're like, okay, we can't get rid of Russell Wilson. That's what I'm saying with Aaron Rodgers is put it out there, what you're saying, what you want, what you demand, and you'd be surprised at what goes your way. But by him not putting out there anything and everybody having to sit here and guess what he wants, what he's talking about, what he's unhappy about, it's putting everybody in the bad dilemma. And I do think it is divish compared to everybody else. It's a lot of quarterbacks out there that's not having input and not getting what they want. I mean, you name Tom Brady going to Tampa to where they realize at the end of the day, you know what? Our window for success is not that. I mean, we've only got him for 2 years. We might as well go all in. We'll get him the pieces to make it work, and it paid off dividends. All I'm just saying is he can speak his mind. He can speak his mind.
So, Scott, let me ask you this question. You don't know why Aaron Rodgers is upset with Green Bay?
I have an idea based off of speculation.
Now you're being naive now. At this point, you're just being naive. If you think that because you're the main one, Scott. I could go back episodes because we got 200 of them where you say where there's smoke, there's fire. You say that all the time, and you need to tell me that.
Changing the argument again. You're changing the argument again.
You said I'm not Scott. You said that there's speculation. So speculation smoke, right?
You're changing the argument again. I agree that no, you're changing the argument. I'm not going to let you do that. There is smoke. So look, right? There is smoke, right? There's smoke. Everybody knows that there's smoke. We see the fire, and you got the team sitting on one end, and you got Aaron Rodgers sitting on the other end. But we don't know how that fire got started. It's all speculation to why it got started. There's some good reasons, and there's some evidence that you can say, okay, well, they didn't draft him any help, or it was the quarterback that did it, or maybe it's the money that did it. But he hasn't came out and directly said, this is what caused the fire. This is what I want.
Scott, that's BS. And because what player has? No player ever does that.
Russell Wilson just did it.
No, he did not.
He said he was tired of getting beat up. Deshaun Watson. Hey, man, they lied to me. I thought I was going to be part of the coaching, searching for a coach. They didn't allow me to search for a coach with the team after they told me. It's a lack of trust.
Though he didn't say that. Those were the reports. He did not say that on an interview. Those were the reports. We did not see Deshaun Watson say they lied to me. That no, we saw with our own eyes that they traded Hopkins, and we saw with our own eyes that the coach just tore that team to shreds. We saw with our own eyes Russell Wilson getting beat up. We have seen with our own eyes that the Green Bay Packers have not drafted an offensive weapon since he's been there. We've seen these things.
So Deshaun Watson didn't demand the trade? He didn't demand the trade to the public? He didn't ask. He didn't say that he was unhappy and he wants a trade and he doesn't want to be there?
So again.
So it's a difference. It's a huge difference. So, yeah, we saw all those things. And on top of all of that, he demanded a trade. It's completely a completely different scenario.
So did he say it or did his people say it? Because we heard
represent. Well, you know what? Okay. So we can play that guy. A representative from Aaron Rodgers needs to come forward and let it be known. Somebody from his camp, let it be known what it is. So either they can move forward, or we can see from the rest of the NFL if somebody could put up a trade package or something. Right now, he's sitting at home hosting Jeopardy and doing whatever he's doing.
So have you not seen any of the tweets about him having his agent coming to the Packers, him having meetings with the Packers about moving forward, about him wanting a new contract? So you didn't know anything about him wanting a new contract?
I know he wants a new contract, but that's not everything. That's not why he's playing this game. And he's not being a super diva for no new contract. He's not. Something happened, and it's something that's bothering him that he needs to get off his chest. Say it with his chest. What is it? What is the issue?
Okay.
Say it.
Because everything you're gonna say, I'm changing the argument, which I'm not. I'm telling you what you're saying. I'm giving you examples. But when you use examples, that's the perfect thing, which is not, And so with that, I think that quarterbacks are divas, right? Receivers are divas. We can't be this naive, or you shouldn't be this naive and think that you don't know what the problem is. Like if you're telling me that what's his name? Aaron Rodgers is we don't know why Aaron Rodgers is unhappy. I would tell you that you're lying. Because we know why he's unhappy. And honestly, you can't compare Deshaun Watson to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has won a lot more than Deshaun Watson.
Aaron Rodgers has had a way better situation than Deshaun Watson. And I mean, we can sit there and argue about he hasn't thrown to a first rounder. And yeah, maybe he is that good. And he is. He's proven that. But he's had a lot of, I wouldn't say playoff success, but his teams have been fairly successful. He hasn't had sorry. See, he's all
because of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he elevates the Packers, right? He elevates them, right? He elevates them. He elevates them to the next level. He's a top tier quarterback. You won't get an argument out of me there. But those Packer teams are not terrible. They're not horrible. They haven't traded away a lot of his pieces like they did to Deshaun Watson. They didn't have a super.
They haven't.
They haven't traded not like Deshaun Watson. Not nowhere near like Deshaun Watson.
Okay, yes, DeAndre Hopkins is one of the greatest receivers. He arguably the best in the league right now, right?
He didn't have a GM like Bill O'Brien.
Who has it?
Aaron Rodgers.
Well, let's not act like Rodgers always had a good defense because he hasn't. But I'll say this. You know, look at Jordy Nelson after he left, right? He wasn't the same. He wasn't whatever. Look at Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb had he's been okay, but you wouldn't say that when he was in Houston or Dallas that he was better than when he was in Green Bay.
I think so it's a lot of teams that draft first round receivers. And I'm not saying that they couldn't have got him any help. You know, there's
a lot of help that's performing right now
that's performing, but he's done really well with Devontae Adams. Who I think most people would take Devontae Adams over a lot of first round receivers. He's been probably one of the most consistent receivers, and a lot of it does have to do with Aaron Rodgers. But let's not act like he's in Tom Brady's situation where he's not throwing to anybody. Jordy Nelson didn't have success when he left the Packers, but when Jordy Nelson was there, he was a top-tier receiver. Aaron Rodgers made him a top-tier receiver, but Jordy Nelson had talent. It wasn't like he was a bum.
So let me ask you this, Scott. What would have helped more against Tampa Bay? That's what they lost in the playoffs, right? What would have helped more, having Jordan Love on the sideline or having Jefferson at opposite of Devontae Adams?
If I'm the GM, no. If I'm GM, and I'm gonna be real, and you're about to probably throw your cap and probably change it and probably end this, I can understand why they would draft a succession plan to Aaron Rodgers. If let's say we'll take your angle, right? Let's say all this is really all brewing, right? Let's say I know that he's unhappy and that I potentially have to replace him. Like I potentially have to trade him. I may potentially have to cut him. He may potentially not show up to camp because he's that unhappy. Maybe it was the right thing to do to draft a succession plan.
You do know that them drafting that succession plan is the reason why is the most part of the reason why he's unhappy, right?
I mean, if he throwing fits like this, I can't even imagine what he's doing behind closed doors.
Why not though? Why not? Scott, you crazy. So he could have had these. Just think about this. 1 year he could have had DK Metcalf. They drafted a defender who I don't even know if he plays. The next year they draft Jordan Love, who's not going to play, who's who, and from what they just said yesterday, Blake Bortles outperformed him. But again, whatever. And you don't get a receiver when everybody or a lineman when everybody knows those are what you need. Everybody knows those are what you need. You draft, and not only did you draft him in the first round, you traded up to draft him in the first round. So, and he may not even play it down. To me, it didn't make no sense.
He hasn't been successful with the receivers he has.
What does that have to do with anything?
He
No,
hasn't
he
been
didn't have
successful.
Look at how many drops they had. Man, them other sorry receivers. He got Devontae Adams, and that's it. Them other sorry receivers are man, please. Man, the one that got that long ass name, man, he dropped past, man, please. And we see it over and over and over.
I mean, okay, I'll give you this, right? They could have gave him some help, but we could go tit for tat with every NFL team of who they missed on, right? I mean, you can go down the line for any NFL team. I will agree with you here. They could have maybe possibly threw him a bone by getting him a receiver, and that would have eased tensions, but I don't know. And I get the fact that. With that being said, nah, I ain't say nothing. I have to end it there. Getting hungry.
You get hungry? No.
Get hungry.
So we'll finish this discussion probably at 9:00. but yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been fun. We've been out for a minute, so I figured, we figured that we'll stay on a little longer than we normally do, and I whatever. I think that you tripping, but whatever. It is what it is,
we'll see. We'll see. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes so I say he's going to be back in Packer uniform. And you say no.
I say no. Correct. And we'll see. I mean that's why we're here. And then one of us will look crazy, the other one will look,
Yeah, we'll see.
The other one to talk crap, and
So let me ask you this. Okay, so we'll end it on this note, right?
All right.
Do you think it'd be a trade or a retirement?
Oh man, I don't think he's gonna retire. I do think it'll be a trade. And if honestly, if the Packers are smart, you should. I think Denver, because you can get so much back from Denver. I think Denver gives you the best ideal package, the best options. You can get the most back from them. They have so much equity that you can get more back from them. I tell you what, he looked good on Jeopardy though. He looked good on Jeopardy, so it's interesting. But I think that it'll be a trade. It'll be a trade. Now, if it gets to next month, I might be changing my tune because camp starts next month, and especially for a quarterback, it's kind of like that's late. That's even right now is like but that's late for a quarterback. So I mean, we'll see. But I do think that I think that he's out of there.
We shall see.
We shall see. But again, man, that's 200 in the books. 200 in the books. So follow us on Instagram at the Off the Record show. Twitter is the OTR brand. Facebook is Off the Record, and YouTube is Off the Record. YouTube.com/C/Off the Record show. So yeah, man. But I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's boy Scotty B.
Who's always wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Nah, all right, man. We out.
All right, peace.
Anthony Adebayo.
with you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.